Hello YouTube, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be a dream interpretation video. So, sorry, bear with me guys, it's kind of late at night. So, what does it mean when you dream about excrement, right? And so I had a dream about excrement, right? But it was like it was like on the ground, and it went in like a spiral in a circle, like kind of how like the picture emoji is on this video. And it was like neat and clean and odorless, if that makes any sense, right? And so, and I'm not here to disgust anyone, but I'm here to keep it real because these are still dreams that people had, and yes, they do mean something. And so I started Googling, what does it mean? What does it mean? Now, dream interpretation can vary because there can be so many variables of the dream, or there can be some details that you forgot in your waking, or whatever the case may be. So I'm just interpreting what I remember about the dream and the brief description that I gave you. And so as I was Googling things about what does it mean to dream about excrement, I realized that, certain things like, did it have an odor? Did it not have an odor? Was it messy? Was it neatly piled? That all meant something. And I was like, okay, cool. So, and as I kind of like sifted through the different, um, factors in the dream, this is what I came up with what it means to dream about excrement. So it says, it can represent offense or bitterness in your heart that needs to be addressed. And I was like, yes, that is so true because I did have some unaddressed bitterness and offense in my heart. Well, not even that it was unaddressed. I had been addressing it. And I had actually said some things that I didn't mean once I calmed down from my anger. And so when I read this, I was like, oh, okay, this makes total sense as to why I had to dream about this excrement. So, clean excrement means to come out of. And when I say clean, I mean odorless, neatly piled, not messy, not smashed, like clean excrement. Like if you've ever been to the doctor, asks you these type of questions, right? So you kind of know what I mean as far as clean excrement. And so being that the excrement was in a neat little pile, it also symbolizes the necessity of cleaning up old spiritual things in your life or in your mind, letting go of what no longer serves purpose in your life, and transformation in your life. And I was like, oh, I totally understand that, because you got to remember that excrement is a buildup of the things inside of your body that now come out. Like, you know what I mean? And it tells you a lot, like physically, spiritually, and mentally. Like even when you go to the doctor asks you about your excrement because there are signs in the physical world, right? That tells you what's going on with your body. And so, it can be on a spiritual level as well, right? So I'm like, oh, okay. So basically, you're expelling these things from your body spiritually. You're expelling things that no longer serve you purpose, right? Things that it could be from you harboring anger on an issue that you had to resolve. It could be letting go of a relationship that is no longer serving you purpose. And you're just at the time in your life where you see that it's no longer serving you purpose. And I would tell you this, right? What I have learned about letting go of relationships, and not just a love relationship, but a relationship with your parent, or, well, you should always respect your parents, but sometimes it's better to love them in your heart and not in your life, but with a friend or a coworker or whatever. When the time is right to let go of said relationship, not wishing them harm, letting them go in peace, moving forward with your life. Everyone doesn't have to be in your life, right? When you let go, you no longer harbor, should I do it? Should I not do it? Did I do it the wrong way? Was it the right way? Right? You don't harbor those feelings. You get inner peace because you're saying, I'm letting you go out of my life in peace. I wish you nothing but the best, right? I wish you nothing but good things for you and transformation for yourself as I let you go out of my life. And if you can let things go without the resentment, without the bitterness, without the anger, you are at a transformative place in your life. You're at a transformative place at your life. And I just think that was so awesome. And just for me on a personal level, right? I just recently let go of a love relationship, or I say a relationship where I saw it as love, but now on the other side of it, I said it was not love, right? And I'm not upset, I'm not hurt, I'm not crying, I'm not heartbroken, I'm not any of the things that I would have been in the past. And that's why when I seen the word transformation, I was like, wow, that is me. This dream was really powerful. And so here's something else that I kind of seen on Google about dreaming about excrement. And this is more on like a real, more on the spiritual side, right? So it says, dream of seeing excrement around you could mean God wants to alert you to guide your virtues and integrity because you are surrounded by toxic or unclean people who are out to make you compromise on your righteousness so they can steal your asset. God wants you to be courteous of your environment, and if you are not careful, they will stain and corrupt your good features. You are going to learn their antics and their evil ways. You might lose your inheritance, faithfulness, loyalty, and consciousness of justice because you are surrounded by crooked people. And that really just spoke to me in volumes because, the relationship that I just recently let go of, I started to see how it was just undisciplined, it was not healthy, there was no growth, there was lack of communication, there was lack of understanding, there was just so many things. And when you say unclean people, I wouldn't necessarily say an evil person, but what I will say about being unclean is this: when you don't have boundaries, when you don't have centering, when you don't walk in your purpose, you leave your psyche and your mind susceptible to unclean things taking over. An undisciplined mind is an unclean mind because you leave yourself susceptible to whatever is around you, to bad habits, to unclean habits, so I definitely wouldn't want to say a person is evil. I would definitely say, well, there are evil people out there, but in this case I'm just saying unclean means you are undisciplined. You can be gluttonous. You so consumed with food that you can't focus. You so wrapped up in social media that you can't think for yourself. Just unclean. You have not really delved into who you are as a person and what it means for you to move forward in health and wellness. And you do open yourself to attacks spiritually and attacks mentally when you are undisciplined and you don't clean out your house. So, if you have had this dream about excrement, I would encourage you to realize that this is now the time for transformation in your life and in your physical house and in your spiritual house. That this is now the time to reflect on what you've been through, but to not harbor any resentment or anger going forward, that you're going to let that go and you're going to move on in peace because out with the old and in with the new. Talk to you later, YouTube. Bye.